Alright, y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it's worth. Let's get this merch. Subscribe to the PDH Network. Alright, y'all see what we got going on here. As y'all see the thumbnail, y'all read the title. Under the thumbnail, yeah man, today's video is dealing with you guys. Quavo and Offset, and the folks in the ATL and all around want to know how long they gonna be doing business with quality control music since TakeOff's untimely demise. And I believe that's a question that we all have, especially knowing they on the terms of either renegotiating their contract or just moving on and doing their own thing. We already seen that Offset, he got a head start on that. And that's all going off the solo project that he did just a few months back. Yeah, man, the same solo project that Quality Control Music CEO, Coach K, and Pierre, they tried to insert themselves as being the main distributors to Offset's solo project. When Offset said he know that wasn't true, he know that Coach K and Pierre had nothing to do with his solo project. Because again, that's his solo project. He has the rights to his solo catalog. That's all based on Offset and how he want to utilize his intellectual property to make more money. You feel me? He say because he's familiar with the contract that he signed. He say he know when he signed a contract with the Migos and Quality Control Music, that was as a trio, that was as a group. He never signed a contract with Quality Control Music as a duo or a solo act. You understand? So when he does a solo act or he does a feature with anybody, that has nothing to do with Quality Control Music. So again, going back, that's the whole reason why Offset took QC to court. Not only for the money back, based on the profits that they received from Offset's solo album, but also he sued them for the rights of his solo catalog, meaning that they can't make a dime or even promote his solo catalog as being part of the Migos. That's up to Offset to do that on his own. And Offset also stated that the reason why he took them to court was for them not to do it for nobody else that's part of QC. And that's some good information that TakeOff and Quavo had picked up before they did their duo album. Huncho and TakeOff presents Uncle F. It don't say QC presents the Migos, so that means that QC does not have the rights to how they promote it, distribute, or stream their album. And QC is not in a position to get majority of the profits made off said album. And again, that's the duo album from Quavo and his nephew TakeOff, and the solo album that Offset had put out. See, situations like this have to happen so you know where you stand at. You can either learn from this or not. It's up to you. We all seen that Offset, he learned from it. He didn't take it too personal. He only took it from the personal side of he felt like they was trying to play him. And Offset feel like, man, all the money I made y'all, now you want to try to dip into my solo catalog? That's not cool, bro. So again, by Offset going through that first, it made it easier for Quavo and TakeOff to put out their album and understand that QC has no rights to the duo album that they put out. See, it's a bigger story to all this, man. And that's dealing with all the artists. Don't be so quick to sign the first contract that you see, man. You have to thoroughly look through it. And you have to make sure that everything benefits you just like it benefits the label. So every benefit that the label get from your name, you better be receiving more. Because again, it's your own intellectual property. And not only that, going back, don't be so quick to sign the first thing you see. Don't be so quick to scam the contract that you're not reading it precisely to see where you actually benefit from. Because the only thing you scam to see is, oh man, I see $100,000. I see they gonna give me $100,000 in this contract. That's the only thing you paid attention to. But you never paid attention to the back end. That you really just signed majority of your funds away on the back end based on you getting it up front. You feel me? So that's what they'll do. They'll offer you $100,000 up front because they know on the back end you actually worth $3 million. So yeah, they all gonna dangle that carrot to see if you gonna grab it. And what do a lot of people do? They grab it. But what I'm saying is Offset, he had a team with him to let him know like, hey man, you're not receiving majority of your profits from your own solo album. Why is that? And again, once they looked into it and seen that QC CEOs, Coach K and P had inserted themselves as being main distributors of his album, he knew they was bogus. And they knew they was bogus. That's why he took them to court. And that's why they had to pay him what they owe him. Not only in cash, but also in his catalog. Yeah, folks, if they don't renegotiate the contract, I feel they're gonna try to get their own label off the ground. And that's something that Offset had been trying to do for the longest, man. Yeah, the whole YRN camp, that's under the Migos umbrella. So that's the reason why Offset, he been wanting to do his own thing. He been felt like he learned enough from Coach K and CEO P that he can go off and do his own thing. That's the whole reason why y'all haven't been seeing Offset around QC like that. Yeah, he'll go around when it's dealing with a show to do or something like that. But at the same time, he knew what they did to him when he put out his solo project. He knew how they tried to blackball him and make it seem like he was just out here talking a bunch of nonsense when he was just going off his contract that he signed and they signed. And he like, hey man, I signed a contract with y'all as a group. I done signed a contract with y'all as a solo artist. So y'all can't touch none of my solo projects. What made y'all think y'all could? I don't have a 360 deal with y'all based on my name being Offset and because I'm part of the Migos. Come on man, no. When I signed a contract with y'all, I signed under the Migos as a trio. But when I do my own solo act, it ain't got nothing to do with y'all. So the reason why I'm bringing that up is, like folks stated before, man, if Quavo and Offset don't renegotiate the contract with QC, then they're just gonna do their own thing, as they should. Because that's the only way you're gonna properly grow, is if you take your money and you invest in yourself. That's how other people on the outside of you take you seriously when they see you investing in yourself. But again, going back, that's the whole reason why Quavo and Offset gotta renegotiate deals. The reason why all this is going down is because TakeOff got taken out. But all this is going off the back of TakeOff untimely demise. So even though Quavo and Offset is going through their thing with QC, they still want answers from J.Prince Jr. mob ties pertaining to what happened at their private event. You understand? Because it's a lot of people that still look at J.Prince Jr. sideways for how he walked past TakeOff when TakeOff was just laying there. Knowing it was a private event that you put together and you gonna walk right past him like you had nothing to do with putting together that private event. You the one that invited all these people out. So how you gonna be one of the first ones to leave? You have to make a report based on what happened. Because you the one that threw the private event. The private event, the down payment for the private event to rent out the spot is all in your name. So how you just gonna walk out like there's no documentation to trace back to you? Come on, man. So J.Prince Jr., he was just bogus on all accounts pertaining to TakeOff's untimely demise. As always, let's pay our respects and say rest in peace to TakeOff, condolences to his family, and much love to all my folks in the ATL. Quavo, Offset, and TakeOff brother Wire and Lingo, y'all will soon get justice for what happened with TakeOff. Trust me. There's a lot of people that's on it, you understand? And they're not letting up because they're trying to understand what happened with TakeOff at their private event. Because all they doing is going back and saying, man, what happened with Duke when he was invited out to H-Town by J.Prince Jr. mob ties? Come on, man. This is not supposed to happen to highly successful black men. You got some people who saying, man, they shouldn't have been shooting dice. They should have been at a casino. I agree with that. In my mind, I'm saying, hey, if J.Prince Jr. is saying he got all this respect in Houston, then nobody should have been up in no burners at no private event that he put together. And you had some folks who saying, hey, man, a lot of that had to do with Quavo talking out the side of his mouth. Some people in H-Town felt like he was overstepping his boundaries by talking out the side of his throat to J.Prince Jr., to the guy who pays us. Still, if J.Prince Jr. and Quavo would have handled it properly, it wouldn't have spilled over to somebody up in the burner and sending up TakeOff. Yeah, man, I just want to say whatever Quavo and Offset decide to do, I hope it benefits them and their families for generations, especially with them losing the glue to the group who happened to be TakeOff. Yeah, man, losing TakeOff, it messed a lot of their heads up. But again, the most people who were hurt were, of course, Quavo and Offset. That's the reason why they don't know if they're going to continue doing music under quality control. But we'll see. Yeah, my guy, that's the reason why dudes, they need to start taking their lives a little more seriously. And you will start to take your life a little more seriously when you understand your purpose. See, a lot of guys, they just running around reckless right now. They only doing it for attention because they have no understanding of what their purpose is. So that's the reason why all these young dudes around here that's trying to get into the rap industry talking about they got ops and what they gonna do to their ops. When we all know they ain't ready for that life. But y'all know my motto, always be aware and always stay prepared. But hey, we got more in store. As always, y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it's worth. Let's get this merch. Subscribe to the PDH Network.